This is my biggest project ever, and it's looking really good. 3 years ago, this all started as a random idea. I had no plan, no team, no clue what I was doing. But how did I even start?
What is this? Oh no!
It can't be that hard, right? Well, this is pretty easy. Even I should be able to make something like this. The game is called Flee or Be, and you can wishlist it on Steam right now. I'll explain the name later. So in the past, I had 2 versions of Flee or Be, and one of them is gone forever. I just showed you how I got inspired by Granny in the first place. Now it has nothing to do with Granny, but I'll just keep going back for more context. So I started. Like any other horror game, I need character movements. And I decided to make a first-person game because I cannot be to animate all those movements. We have our first-person controller, and it's already 3 steps ahead of Steve. If you're familiar with Granny, then you know that she's blind and she reacts to sounds you make. And she's a woman. And that is one of the reasons I decided to lead. In the first version, I bought this asset and I wanted to use this doctor as the main antagonist and build a story around that. But he isn't really looking all that scary and frightening. At least he's not a woman. I have my character controller, but what should that character do? You can read that on the Steam page, where you can also wish. In short, there's a party and one of the characters, Mark, gets drunk, refuses to get a drive home and goes missing. The main protagonist is kidnapped after he wanted to figure out what happened to his best friend Mark. And I will not spoil anything now. Main character's name is Logan, and the fact that Logan got kidnapped is not even the scariest. Is that he has a job. Logan is working for Lena. She's the founder of the news outlet in a small town, Evercrest, and is also a good friend of Logan. And Lena wanted to calm Logan down after he found out about missing friend.
Why did you redeem it?
While they spoke, she told him about another interview they have to make with a really famous person from the city. And Logan can do it to not think about Mark. I'll stop right there. And now that I have the story, let's see what I have in Unity. I need environment, and I can either spend some money on Unity assets, or just make my own models in Blender. If you pick the asset store, then you are
absolutely and utterly correct.
I guess I need some assets. I cannot model, and I don't want to make victim of myself. Like feminine. I made a massive house. No one else is mad. Now, I do have an environment, but I have no player.
What do you mean you don't have a player? You literally have it.
Yes, but the actual model for the player. First version of Flee or Be just had this one model for the antagonist. And he worked just like Granny, but now it's completely different. This second version that's on Steam is now similar to Until Dawn, Amnesia the Bunker, or even Resident Evil. In style. So how did I manage to make characters? First, let me introduce you to all the characters I need. No spoilers. Hopefully. Logan, main character that will appear the most in the game. Dr. Voss, this version is no longer with us. Lena, his boss, will appear in the beginning, middle and the end of the game. Mark, one appearance in the beginning when he's gone. And a bunch of random people for the opening scene. And ChatGPT managed to make this guy look like he's making cringe ASMR videos. With these characters I tried to make some nice cinematics so it actually feels like a real movie. Like some of the games I mentioned previously. Did I make any of these? Yes. How? I need you to stop asking the fucking question. I managed to make 3D models using advanced methods including images and 3D scanning. I'll explain in a bit. So what do I need now? Well, about females I will need a tall girl, brown hair, light or dark doesn't really matter that much. In her early 20s, eye color also doesn't matter, that had no experience in this field, stuff like that. And about those Flee or Be characters, well, I tried to use character creation 4, but I had no idea what I was doing. My free trial expired and I had to spend... Nope. So I used Unreal Engine. But how? I had to make my own characters because I don't want to use generic assets I use in all my projects. I said inspirations for these games. And when you see a game with good graphics and look at the behind the scenes footage, you see a bunch of gear, many people and whatever. I have nothing. And I have to improvise. And that's where I discovered a mobile app that lets you use your camera for 3D scanning of anything. Polycam. Wow. When I say anything, I mean anything. Put the object on nice lit place. Take many pictures of the object, press this button and Polycam will do its magic and you will have your object in 3D. And the process is similar with people. First you need permissions, because you just can't take photos of others without their permission. Go to a nicely place and the process is the same. Now that I have a person, how do I transfer that in Unity? Fortunately Google exists. How do I make a human? Why is everything blurred out? Oh, I forgot to add in Unity. Now I'll just go fast through the entire process. Download 3D model, open in Blender, edit mesh, delete everything but the head, export, and open Unreal Engine 5. And wait. When Unreal finally opens, import MetaHuman plugin, reset, and wait again. Import model from Blender to Unreal, MetaHuman identity, and let Unreal Engine do its magic. Click on identity solve, it will automatically create a mesh based on the face. And wait again. And now we can edit this in MetaHuman Creator. It's very limited, but it's useful. After other things, I can use it in Unity. I need to do this for 7 more characters. I am developing this game for 2 years. And not because of that, but because I had to change a bunch of mechanics I literally copied from other games and I didn't even know they existed. Very specific ones. But that's for the next video. I already told you I have this house. But this house is here just for the intro cutscene and some small tutorial sequences for the player. Let's go back to the first version of Flee or Be. It was similar to Granny. You make a sound and he chases you. And you have to escape. But from where? I wanted to have like 4 stages or levels in one game. Cave systems, basement, floor -1, house of the doctor. And when you escape through all, you win the game. The plan changed, and now in this version it's like this. You start in a house just to get introduced with story and much of simple mechanics. Later you end up in the underground cave system just like in the original version. Next stage is the basement of the compound, and at the end is the actual house itself. Instead of having 4 different levels you have to unlock by completing the previous one, we just have one long gameplay. So let's start making those. I said I need cave systems, and I'm using this asset for it. By the way, I'm not doing asset flipping. I do use assets, but I change the shit out of them. You know, everything is 100% custom, so no worries. One problem is that it has a bunch of LODs, and somehow it messes up my collisions, and sometimes I manage to fall through the floor. In the environment like this, you would need an enemy. I have this guy and he needs bones. I gave him bones and now I can apply a bunch of animations. But if there's an enemy, you need to defend yourself. And since this is an FPS game, what kind of FPS game doesn't have guns? But I need some melee as well. You'll see in game why. When you shoot and kill the enemy, I want them to turn into ragdolls. Now that I have ragdolls and guns, I should be able to start making some systems for puzzles so we can actually progress through the game. And since there is nothing on Asset Store or GitHub for testing purposes, I need to code it on my own. And these puzzles will later be important for the exit. Exit. Why is this game called Flee or Be? Well, flee is just a synonym for leave, and be is just, well, stay there. So you can either leave or stay, but it's too generic. So I just googled synonyms, and that's how I came up with Flee or Be. And everything I showed you so far is just the beginning of my biggest project ever. And I think I will continue in the next video because I need to edit all of this. Part 2 is coming soon.